Red Bull changes exhausted strategy and looks to rivals for inspiration. Renault criticizes Alpine's stab in the back. Mercedes threatens Mclaren in F1. This and much more, now on F1 News. Red Bull in F1, a strategy of inspiration and overcoming. Red Bull Racing, a dominant power in Formula One since 2022, now faces a new challenge, seeking inspiration from the competition to maintain its competitive edge. The team, which has shown exceptional performance thanks to its interpretation of the regulations, recognizes that the development ceiling for its current car, the RB20, is close, but has not yet been reached. Pierre Wache, Red Bull's technical director, expressed in an interview that, despite high expectations, the RB20 has not yet reached its full potential, especially in high-speed corners. This raises questions about the correlation between simulations and reality on the track, a crucial factor for success in races. Red Bull's strategy now seems to revolve around a more collaborative approach, where innovation is driven by observing and adapting rivals' discoveries. Wache emphasizes that, in F1's competitive environment, it is common for teams to inspire each other in order to move forward. Red Bull, which has been a source of borrowed ideas for other teams in recent years, is ready to reverse this flow and seek new heights of performance. This strategic move by Red Bull can be seen as a sign of maturity and adaptability, essential qualities for continuous evolution in the sport. Mercedes threatens Mclaren in F1. Mclaren, one of the most iconic teams in the category, is living through a moment of tension and expectation. After a season of significant progress, where the gap to leaders Red Bull has been remarkably reduced, the British team now faces a new threat, the rise of the super-strong Mercedes. McLaren CEO Zak Brown expressed in a Sky Sports F1 podcast how satisfying it would be for the team to overcome Red Bull's dominance and keep other dangerously close teams at bay. McLaren, who haven't won the Constructors' Championship since 1998 and whose last driver's title came with Lewis Hamilton in 2008, are currently 42 points behind Red Bull. However, its drivers, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, occupy promising positions in the championship, and Brown believes in the potential of both to achieve victory for the team. The season has been exceptional for McLaren, with both drivers achieving their first F1 victories, Norris in Miami and Piastri in Hungary. The team's consistency on the podium since the Chinese Grand Prix has been remarkable. However, with Mercedes gaining ground and winning 3 of the last 4 races, the battle for the title is becoming even more intense. I expect them to be very strong in the second half of the year. So I'm happy that we've got a bit of an advantage, said Brown. With the pressure mounting and Mercedes showing its strength, McLaren has quite a challenge ahead of it. We still have a lot to talk about with the latest F1 news, but first I'd like to remind you to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more quality content like this. Renault accuses Alpine of stab in the back, in controversial F1 engine decision. Renault, the longtime engine supplier to the Alpine team, has expressed its displeasure and surprise at what it describes as an abrupt and unexpected change of direction. Renault, through an official statement, expressed its frustration, emphasizing the successful partnership that both teams have enjoyed over the years and the significant contribution that Renault engines have had in the development of Alpine's cars. The statement suggests that Renault feels betrayed after investing in a relationship of mutual trust, only to be let down at a critical time for both involved. The situation is critical and has led the French engine plant's union representative to talk about a stab in the back, which makes us even more wary about the possibility of a strike, as mentioned in previous videos, disrupting Alpine's progress for the rest of 2024. F1 fans are anxiously awaiting more information and a response from Alpine, while Renault has made it clear that it will be looking for new partnerships and opportunities to demonstrate the quality and competitiveness of its engines. Revolution on track, F1 accelerates to 2026 with Mule car testing. The permission to test Mule cars for 10 days this year represents a significant step forward for the teams, who will be able to simulate the new cars that will dominate the tracks after next season. Mule cars are prototypes modified from the team's previous year's cars for testing and development, with less restrictive regulations compared to official race cars. This regulatory change is a response to demands for more effective preparation for the substantial technical changes to come. Drivers taking part in these tests will need a super license and to have competed in at least one Formula One race in their career, or covered 500 kilometers consistently in tests with a current car in the category. F1 rules revamp. Alonso and Sainz incidents generate crucial changes. During the weekend of the Chinese Grand Prix, two different situations called into question the clarity of F1's rules. Firstly, Alonso received a 10-second penalty after a collision with Sainz in the sprint race. The penalty, however, had no practical effect, as Alonso ended up withdrawing from the race. Traditionally, penalties like this would result in a loss of grid positions in the subsequent race, but the rules did not provide for this conversion for incidents in sprint races. In addition, Sainz faced his own controversy when he managed to continue in the qualifying session after his car stalled on the track. Aston Martin protested, unsuccessfully, claiming that Sainz should not have been allowed to continue under the rule which stipulates that any driver whose car stalls on the track during the qualifying or sprint session cannot take part in the session any further. The revisions announced by the FIA aim to clarify these gray areas. Now, if a driver receives a penalty and is unable to serve it due to disqualification or withdrawal from the sprint or race, the stewards can impose a grid position penalty in the driver's next race. In addition, the rule on on-track stops during qualifying has been adjusted to specify that only drivers who receive physical assistance will be prevented from continuing in the session. Leave your comments on the video, and once again, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss out on the latest Formula One news, and thanks for listening.